News.
It protects others more than it protects you because it prevents you from breathing or speaking moistly on them. Oh, what a terrible image.
Rock.
Hey, thank you, man. You guys rock.
And local talk.
I love these guys.
Hey, listen up, everybody.
Rocks my socks off.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell. Starts now.
Good morning, that's us. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
It's currently 6 in the morning. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to Fort Erie Radio. Brenda, I have a bit of a bone to pick.
Pick away.
With Mr. Tim Horton.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you all about that. But first, it's the top of the hour. Let's take a look at what's making news.
News, sports, and weather at the top of the hour. Presented by Jones and Tyrrell.
Today's news is brought to you by Crafted 1885 on Dominion Road, offering legendary subs, burgers, wings, and poutine. Order online for pickup or stay and enjoy the patio. Visit crafted1885.ca for details. Well, we broke this news story yesterday live on air. A local 19-year-old man of no fixed address was arrested and charged for ransacking people's cars. He was already out on probation, so sounds like a real winner. 2 Fort Erie family practices are now accepting new patients. So if you're in need of a family doctor, Dr. Magdi Hanna of the Fort Erie Group Family Practice, situated on Birdie Street. You can stop by, pick up registration forms. Also, Bridges Community Health Center at 1485 Garrison Road, also accepting new patients. To begin the registration process there, contact Healthcare Connect at 1-800-445-1822. A protest against the privatization of healthcare is scheduled to happen Thursday, May 30th. There's a bus departing from the Fort Erie Leisureplex at 8:30 a.m. and then heading up to St. Catharines YMCA at 9 a.m. It's $10 a seat if you want to get on the bus. That's to cover the costs. You also have to register in advance by emailing the Niagara Health Coalition. Fort Erie Healthcare SOS, which is fronted by Heather Kelly, who will be a guest on our show coming up in June.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're inviting local residents to come out. I will mention, I think it's telling that this is happening on a Thursday morning. Not that this isn't an important issue, but the only people who are going to be able to go are people who essentially don't have jobs.
Yeah.
But for more information on these stories and more, please visit forterieRadio.ca. Brenda, what's happening in sports?
In NBA playoffs in the East, Game 2 happened last night between the Boston Celtics,
Brenda.
You know, I'm a huge basketball fan, can't you tell?
I can tell, yeah.
They played the Pacers and beat the Pacers with a score of 126-110. Tonight, Game 2, Mavericks versus the Timberwolves, happen at 8:30. In the NHL, a sport that I care about, in the West, Game 1 of the Oilers versus the Stars. Oilers took that with a score of 3-2 after 2 overtime periods.
Wow.
Tonight at 8 o'clock is game number 2 of the East Finals between the Panthers and the Rangers. In baseball, Jays beat the Tigers with a score of 9-1. They'll be playing them again tonight at 6:40 p.m.
Well, today we are expecting sunny conditions, a high of 24, low of 14 overnight. Tomorrow, high of 23 and some scattered thunderstorms. Sunday, a high of 26, mix of sun and cloud. We've got traffic coming up twice an hour. Stay tuned for that.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning, that is us. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
It is currently 6:09, 13 degrees, mostly cloudy. We're inviting you to join the conversation. Thanks for tuning in to Fort Erie Radio this morning. You can talk to us at 289-931-8400.
And happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We made it through the short week.
Yes, we did.
Sometimes it feels like on those short weeks, you need a break from the break you got a little bit, you know?
Sometimes the short weeks feel a little bit longer. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mentioned kind of at the onset of our show today that I had a bit of a bone to pick with Tim Hortons.
Yes.
And I don't like to complain about stuff.
No,
I'm
not at all.
Well, I'm just saying I'm not a let me speak to the manager type.
No, Karen,
you know?
you're not. You're not.
That's not me, right? But here's what happened. So yesterday before the show, I stopped at Tim Hortons, as I normally do. The one at Central and Garrison is open.
It's the only thing open in the town of Fort Erie.
That's open. I stopped by, ordered a coffee. My coffee order, as you know, is black. I drink my coffee black. I know it's the sign of being a sociopath, but I drink my coffee black. So
I'm
do
with you.
So do you.
I was going to say, so I'm like not the one to criticize.
No. So I feel like I have probably the easiest coffee order on planet Earth.
Yeah, pour it, put it in a cup, hand it over.
I pull away from the drive-thru. I've got a double-double.
Man.
And I'm not mad. I will drink a double-double. That's fine. I mean, it tastes like I'm drinking like syrup, but I mean, I'll do it.
I feel you. I feel your pain.
I'll do it.
I feel your pain.
So I brought it in. I drank my double-double. Show was done. Did a little admin work here at the station, and then took off to head home. Stopped at Tim Hortons again.
To give them a redeeming order.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I ordered, guess what I ordered?
Black coffee.
Black coffee, yeah. I pull away from the drive-thru, 2 creams.
Yeah.
Twice in a day.
And again, we've had this discussion off air more than once. If understanding what a black coffee is and how to put it together isn't something that you can really comprehend, Tim Hortons, might not be in your wheelhouse for employment.
It's like the recipe for ice cubes. You know what I mean? It's like
my dad used to have family meetings about that all the time. He used to call us and it's like, we need to go over the recipe for ice cubes because obviously everyone has forgotten.
Yeah. Now, look, again, I'm not the kind of person who's going to make an issue. I'm not going to contact corporate. I'm not going to go back through. I don't have time in the morning to go back through and demand another coffee kind of thing. And I get the folks who are working at Tim's at 4 a.m. They're working hard. I get it. Like, I'm not mad at them, but I'm just trying to figure out how.
Black coffee. It's like I've given you something that requires zero effort.
Yeah.
To take the pot, pour it in cup, hand it over.
Right.
You're creating more work for yourself when you don't need to.
That is absolutely true.
And again, if you can't understand the concept of black coffee, Tim Hortons, not a fit.
So if you work at Tim's or if you know somebody who does, maybe just give them a little encouragement. Like you can do it, Billy. You can do it. Like you can figure out the recipe for black coffee.
Yeah, do your best. Do your best at the coffee shop to figure out a black coffee.
So Jones doesn't get his order screwed up every day.
Yeah,
and then it's the opposite. It's the inverse if you go to a place like Starbucks because my wife has an order that has like 17 words in it, and I'm the one who's going to screw it up, not the baristas.
Yeah, and there's been multiple times where my husband has gone to the Starbucks because I am a slave to them. Mm-hmm. And he's gone to get my coffee for me as a treat. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting a coffee for Brenda. And he orders it. And the baristas at Starbucks have corrected him.
Yeah, well, see, there you go.
Like, because they know me that well.
Yeah,
They're like, no, that's not what you get. So he just pulls up there and just says, yeah, I want to get a coffee for Brenda. And they just hand it to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if they screw up your order, you get to keep the mistake.
Yeah.
And they make you a new one.
Well, I think it's the same thing at Tim's. Again, if you have the time and the effort to go do it, right? It's like, I don't have the time to go ask them to correct the coffee, right?
Well, again, it's one thing if you ordered like a double macchiato with like you said, like with all this stuff.
All the fixins.
Yeah, from Starbucks.
Yeah.
But it's like
it's a $26 coffee. It better be right.
But to have to go into Tim Hortons and go, hi, you screwed up a black coffee.
Yeah.
Could you fix that? Like, first off, the level of hope that you have going in that they're going to be able to correct it. It's like you screwed up the most basic coffee in the world.
So, Tim's, if you're listening, we'd love it if you sponsored our show. I think that's where we were going with this the whole time.
And please take note that black coffee is just coffee in a cup.
No
effort.
Yeah.
Just pour it in a cup.
No, don't add sugar. Don't add sugar.
No.
That's not what a black coffee is.
No cream.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at traffic. We've got the Weird Damn News coming up around 6:30. Stay tuned for that. Right now, it is 6:14. You're listening to Lincoln Park on Fort Erie Radio.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning and welcome to Fort Erie Radio. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
Currently 6:27, 13 degrees, mostly cloudy. We'd love to hear from you. Call or text us 289-931-8400. We're very approachable.
Very.
Down to earth people.
Yep.
We're fun to talk to. We're fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More so over the radio. Like, don't approach me on the street. But here, totally do it.
Absolutely.
Totally do it here.
I'm 100% the same way. If you see me at Walmart, you don't know who I am. Speaking of which, just posted something fun to our socials. So check that out when you have a chance. If it is Friday, don't forget. Put in your shift at Walmart. Get your self-checkout done on Friday night. You can take the rest of the weekend off.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's just
things to aspire to.
Yeah, man. Do your second job to pick up your groceries there and just call it a weekend.
Somebody said to me the other day, remember when you were a kid, like you had like the little Fisher Price cash register?
Yeah.
See, we didn't know that we were in training for like our self-service jobs.
That's the meme I just posted to our socials. Yeah.
That's hilarious. My psychic powers.
I mean, it's I should probably confer with these things with you first before posting them,
That's okay. I like my psychic powers. That's kind of cool. I guess that all by myself.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It is almost 6:30. Around 6:30ish every morning, we like to do something we call the Weird Damn News. a collection of the strangest stories we were able to find from around the world. Brenda, what do you got?
Okay, well, first off, anybody who's been following Horace the corpse plant.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know. He
Here we
finally
go.
bloomed, and he'll be dead by Monday.
Okay, can you explain to people, because, again, not everybody's up on their horticulture, what is a corpse plant?
Okay, a corpse plant is this giant plant that's like the size of a human being. It only blooms once every 4 to 10 years. And one just bloomed in at the Cosmo Zoo in I believe it's in Minnesota.
So are these things that rare that they go into a zoo? Like they're that uncommon?
Yeah, there's only 1,000 of these plants like in the wild, and different like botanical centers, zoos, conservatories, stuff like that have these plants in order to try to keep them alive. And
why? What value do they serve to ecology? Don't they just eat children? Like, what is the?
No, they don't. These ones don't eat children. They smell like they've eaten a child.
That's why it's called a corpse plant.
It's called a corpse plant because it smells like dead, rotting flesh.
So they bloom and then they die themselves.
They bloom. It's really weird. Like their phase one is they become a tree, which they just refer to as a leaf. It's kind of crazy.
Okay,
and then that dies off. Then the flower part comes out, and that takes quite some time. It blooms once, like I said, between 4 and 10 years for this thing to bloom. Then when it does bloom, like I said, it's really pretty, but it smells like rotten flesh, and that's to attract, the different bugs and things like that to come and pollinate it. Yeah,
crickets.
Yeah, and
yeah,
and then it dies 2 days later, and you're done.
That sounds like a pointless specimen.
Yeah,
So
but hey,
I'm
it's
glad
weird
it's
and
die.
it's kind of cool.
I'm glad it's over with. Brenda has been
I'm
watching
very
the
sad.
live feed of this thing every day. Like, if you ever
I
wonder
am.
what do people do on the radio between talking, like while the songs are playing, the answer for Brenda is watch Horace the Plant on the
But
live
can I
stream.
tell you, it's a little bit more satisfying than watching paint dry. I don't know why, but it is. It's kind of cool.
If you're just joining us, we are doing something we do around 6:30 every morning, which is called the Weird Damn News. These are a collection of some of the strangest stories we've found from around the world. Now, Brenda, I know you are not a huge fan of tattoos in the sense that you don't have any. You don't have any tattoos, correct?
No, my mother was an artist, and that's why.
But are you a fan?
I'm a fan of seeing them on other people.
And are you a fan of world records?
Yes.
Okay, because a woman in Kansas has set a Guinness World Record for the most tattoos, get this, of Madonna.
Madonna, the singer,
Yes.
or Madonna as in
No.
like Jesus's mom?
No, a Madonna the singer. So this, I can't even tell this story with a straight face. So this woman in Kansas got her first Madonna tattoo 8 years ago. So in 2016, she heard that Madonna was looking for people like tattooed fans from around the world for a music video that she was shooting. So this Madonna superfan decided to get a tattoo of Madonna on herself.
Okay.
And that's where the story begins. And I already have issue with this because I will say I like tattoos. I have tattoos myself. But tattoos of people's faces, like portraits, never look good.
Well, it depends. It depends on the person who drew it. But
Right.
yeah, most of the time it doesn't work out very
Like
well.
I have this sweet maple leaf on my arm that's like, it's all nicely colored. My arm can stretch or shrink or sag, and it's like you can still tell it's a leaf. When it's somebody's face, it's like it is very hard to tell after your body changes, your skin changes, whose face
All
that's
I can
supposed to
say
be.
to that, if you get a tattoo of them young on your arm, and then as you age, so does your tattoo. Like
It just looks like their face is
well, this
melting.
is it. Like she got a tattoo of Madonna when she was like in her 20s, and now it's accurate.
Okay, but here's the thing. Since that time 8 years ago, she now has 18 portraits of Madonna on her body. So she has the world record for the most tattoos, I guess, of any artist. Previously, the record was held by a British woman who had 15 tattoos of Eminem. So this British woman had 15 tattoos of Eminem, which is about 15 and a half too many. And then this woman in Kansas now has 18 tattoos of Madonna. And in total, it has cost her $9,800, I assume US. In exchange for that sum, I think I'd rather you buy whatever you want, but I'd rather get like a sweet hot tub or something for it than have 18 tattoos of Madonna.
Yeah, again, the whole 18 tattoos period, you've kind of lost me on that, but
And the worst,
that's just me.
the worst part of this whole story, I mean, I'm not in any position qualified to give out financial advice, but she borrowed some of that $9,800, like got friends and family to lend her money so she could set the world record to have the most Madonna tattoos.
Well, again, the fact that they said, okay, yeah. I just don't get it. But I guess it's better than like, what is that, the Roger Clone guy in the States that has the big tattoo of Nixon's face on his back. Like,
I mean, again, tattoos are fine. Tattoos can be tasteful. Do not get tattoos of portraits or people's faces. It's just, you don't, whether it's Nixon or otherwise, none of them look good. Man.
Well, what happens too? Like if you know, like what if you got like a whole bunch of like P. Diddy tattoos? Or, you know,
you later find out somebody...
Kelly tattoos. And then you're like, oh no, I need I don't know.
Laser removal.
Or a cheese grater or something. It's just like wrong.
You later find out that your idol is a serial predator. And you're like, what do I do about this?
Yeah, exactly. And he's all over my body.
We got a couple minutes. Brenda, you have another one?
I do. In lines with your Tim Hortons screwing up your order, there's a guy named Greg.
Okay.
In the States that was complaining that the McDonald's near him always screws up his order.
Okay.
So he placed a DoorDash order for a triple cheeseburger with everything removed.
Like hold everything?
Like hold everything. So Dan, his helpful DoorDash guy, called him and said, like, dude, you realize you're getting an empty box. Like, they will give you nothing. And he's like, no, that's totally fine.
So when you say hold everything, we're not just talking about like the lettuce and the mayo. We're talking about hold the bun, hold the cheese, hold the beef, all of it.
Yeah, and the receipt says that. The receipt says that. Like triple cheeseburger, no pickles, no tomatoes, or no ketchup, no burger, bun.
Did he get his empty box?
He did, and can I tell you, they still screwed up his order because they gave him the wrong box. He didn't get a triple cheeseburger box. He got a McCrispy box. And he's like, even when you order a nothing burger, which I think was the point of him doing this, they still screwed up his order. So see, Tim Hortons not understanding a black coffee could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about that. Yesterday, went to Tim's twice. Both times they screwed up my order, which was just a black coffee. That's all it was. Tim's, we will forgive you wholeheartedly if you want to sponsor Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell. We'd be happy to talk. You call our people, we'll call yours, I guess, something like that.
And we'll drink your coffee.
And we'll still keep drinking your coffee because you're the only thing open at 4:00 in the morning. But that is far to prove a point, isn't it? Like to just order a hold everything. Like so I assume he paid the full $5, $6, $7.
Oh yeah, he paid, not only that, but he like tipped the DoorDash guy like $11. So like his bill for a nothing burger was $20.
Maybe in their defense at that McDonald's, maybe they were just out of whatever type of box he was supposed to get that day.
If you're going to give anybody the right box, though, give it to the guy who ordered nothing but the box.
My God. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff
Even
up.
if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Anyway, we've got another look at traffic here coming up in a moment. We're also going to be talking about family doctors. Mentioned that at the news at the top of the hour. We got a couple of family practices here in town that are currently accepting patients, so we'll fill you in on that.
And a shout out to my family doctor who listens to our show.
Hey, we just found out yesterday. We are famous in highbrow circles, I guess. Stay tuned for more information on that. Right now, it's Paramore on Fort Erie Radio.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning. You're listening to Fort Erie Radio. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
It's currently 6:48, 14 degrees. Mostly cloudy. We got a look at news, sports, and weather coming up at the top of the hour. But one of those stories we thought we'd get into a little more detail. If you're on the hunt for a family doctor, there were a couple of family practices right here in town currently accepting patients. And by the way, this is a bit of a call to action because people love to complain, and rightfully so, that there is a shortage of doctors, and there is. But we're telling you, there are doctors right now
brand spanking new, looking for people.
Taking patients. So if you don't reach out, that is on you. Fort Erie Group Family Practice. So that's the one on Bertie Street.
That's the one on Bertie Street. That's also the one that I go to.
Okay. If you want to meet Brenda in person, the living legend.
Yeah.
Creeper at the doctor's office. That's what she's telling
I'm never
you.
there. Like I only go once a year when he says, hey, come in. So I come in.
Yeah. If you're anything like me, you avoid going to the doctor, but good idea to have one just to be on the safe side. So they've announced that Dr. Magdi Hanna, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, is accepting new patients. Set up shop in Canada in 2015, completed some training, University of Manitoba. Background, a varied background, emergency medicine, palliative care, family care. So if you have some degree of interest in saying, hey, this might be my guy, this is the doctor that I want to go see, you can contact Fort Erie Group Family Practice directly, 905-871-1220. And or you can actually just stop by in person at 238 Bertie Street, pick up some registration forms. It's that easy.
And I just want to say, too, if you're looking for a doctor, Fort Erie Family Practice Group also has an after-hours clinic.
Okay, so is that like, do you have any hours on that?
No, if you don't need an appointment, you just show up. They put the
like
the magic numbers out.
Okay.
At around quarter to 5, 20 to 5. And the clinic goes basically from 5 until 7. They only put out so many numbers.
Okay.
So once all the numbers are gone, so are their appointment times. But it's a great after hours. I've been there more than once. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's the funny thing about healthcare is that sometimes you need it not at times when clinics are normally open, right?
Yeah. And again, they do a rotating with which doctors are on call for the after hours clinic. So if you wanted to go with your specific doctor there, you can make sure that you go to the after hours clinic when they are there. But again, because they all work together, that information gets passed on really easily.
And don't worry, if that after hours clinic is also closed, you could always just stop by Douglas Memorial Hospital in the middle of the night and go to urgent care. Oh, no, wait, no, you can't.
No, you can't.
No, because they close at 8. Yeah,
they do.
Right, yeah.
They
so
do.
It's almost like you better just time your medical emergencies to when everything is open,
It
I
is
guess,
convenient, though, because you go to the after hours clinic at the Fort Erie Family Practice, and they'll be like, quick, go next door and go get the following done before they close.
It's awful. We have a minute left, so I'm just going to quickly highlight that Bridges Community Health Center at 1485 Garrison Road, they're also accepting new patients. As long as you don't currently already have a family doctor or nurse practitioner, you're located in Fort Erie, Port, or Waynfleet, you begin the registration process by calling Healthcare Connect at 1-800-445-1822.
Or 811.
Yeah, apparently you can just call 811 for Healthcare Connect. We have a look at local news coming up, top of the hour. Brenda, you feeling the pinch from inflation?
A little bit. A little bit pinchy like a crab.
Yeah, I think we're all feeling a little bit of the pinchy. So apparently some kids are feeling it too. Ice cream trucks these days, man, they want too damn much money.
It's ridiculous.
Too much money for ice cream cones.
Especially in the UK.
Especially in the UK. That is all coming up. Right now, it is 6:51. We're listening to Boston on Fort Erie Radio.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning, that's us. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
You're listening to Fort Erie Radio. It is 7:11 right now, 15 degrees, mostly cloudy. We are legends in the making over here.
And in our own minds.
Kind of a big deal.
Play great tunes, none of that snooze or rock over here on Fort Erie Radio. News, sports, weather, traffic, all the good stuff.
And apparently we're the home for Nickelback.
We are according to a listener yesterday, yes, playing Nickelback twice a day is far too much. But we're also, we're a very serious morning show. You know, we like to deliver important breaking updates on the state of economic things.
I'm sure you can tell.
Like inflation. Because there is a British young girl, who's gone viral for a video she made about the price of ice cream from the ice cream truck.
And it is a travesty.
It is disgusting what this poor girl had to go through.
And nothing is more serious than when you add a British accent to it.
That is
true. It
true.
takes on a whole new level.
Listen, no, she calls it the ice cream van. I guess that's what they call it on the other side of the pond. But have a listen to what this girl's got to say.
So, there's an ice cream van there selling just 2 ice creams with 2 chewing gums in it.
Yeah.
For bloody £9 for 2 of them.
£9 for 2?
Yeah, £9. That is going to get nowhere. The one that comes on my street is either £1 a p or £2. That is going to get nowhere with that.
No, he ain't, is it?
No, he ain't.
That's well bad, isn't
Yeah, you
it?
should know. And he only does bloody card. Stood there with my cash. Bloody hell.
That's well bad, isn't it?
Bloody well bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Betty can hear me.
I love it. Betty can hear me. Yeah, I mean, it is. You put a British accent on anything, and it's like,
Yeah, it's just a whole new level of awesome.
yeah, it's like that's well bad, isn't it? Like I want to start using that in regular speech, and hopefully,
If I did that, my husband would feel I was mocking him.
well, I was going to say your husband will probably take issue with it, but
Or
I
not.
mean, it's this girl has gone viral, and rightfully so. £9 that works out to like in Canadian almost $20 for 2 ice cream cones.
And not only that, like if the ice cream van that's her regular
Yeah.
is only charging like 1p50.
Yeah.
Like that is ridiculous markup. Like where is this van parked? Like have you gone like into like central London? Like
Now, to play devil's advocate, to be fair, we don't know. Maybe this is the fanciest ice cream cone you've ever seen in your life. You know, maybe that's why what the £9 is for. You know, But
Well, again, if the other ice cream van is selling the exact same cone
yeah,
for £1, £1.50,
£1.50.
it's ridiculous.
It's
Ridiculous.
yeah, but it is funny looking at those novelties because you figure, it's we talk a lot about groceries and that kind of thing, but we have kids that can't afford to get ice cream at this point.
And that, again, is a tragedy. And when inflation is noticeable by a small child, they have other things to worry about than the price of ice cream from the van.
I still love at the end when she says, I bet he can hear me.
Well, let's face it, though, when you complain.
Well bad, isn't it?
Bloody well bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he can hear me.
Well, let's face it, we all kind of complain in that louder voice in hopes that we're heard by the person we're complaining about. So
the problem is that even though the guy can hear it, he's probably not the one that actually owns the ice cream truck. He's probably just doling out the ice cream at the window, and
also probably doesn't care.
Yeah, well, that's it too.
Like some kid's upset. Oh well, there's 15 other ones in line. I'm good.
Yeah. But hey, if you're gonna get heated about something, it might as well be ice cream, man. It's at least this kid's not complaining about politics.
Yeah, and again, if you're going to complain, wouldn't that be hilarious if she went off on the Conservative government or something over there instead? I have to say, one of my favorite things about British Parliament is Larry.
Who's Larry?
Larry's the cat that lives. He's the cat that lives at 10 Downing Street. He comes with the house.
This is like a bipartisan thing. Doesn't matter what part. It's everybody's cat.
They have cats in their different parliament buildings and office buildings over there for mouse control. And he is the cat that they used to have it. The same thing here. They used to have the cat parliament.
24 Sussex Drive or whatever.
They had the cat parliament behind the parliament
I remember
buildings.
that. I remember that. Yeah.
And that was their purpose.
Yep.
Was they used to let them into the library to fight mice and stuff like that.
We always knew there were rats in government.
Yeah, exactly. And they do that. They've got the different cats for the different parliament buildings. And Larry is the one that's assigned to 10 Downing Street. He's been there for, I think, 3 prime ministers now.
That is wild.
And he gets in fights with the cat from down the street, whose territory is some other government office. And Larry's like, back away.
Coming up, we have a look at traffic. We got a Ticketmaster update as well. Story from yesterday. Brenda's going to give us an update on what's happening with that monopoly. Right now, we're listening to the Stones on Fort Erie Radio.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning. You're listening to Fort Erie Radio. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
7:28 a.m. 15 degrees, mostly cloudy right now. We've still not been canceled. We're just saying, hey, it's been 2 weeks. We've been on air 2 weeks. That is not
crazy.
too shabby. Not at all.
And it's crazy because it feels like we've been doing this forever.
Yeah,
but it also feels like we just started.
Not a minute past 6 months, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we were telling you a bit about the monopoly that is Ticketmaster, Live Nation, and attempt to sort of break up the monopoly. And Brenda's got an update on that story for us.
Well, pretty much as soon as we went off air, AG Merrick Garland took to the mic and said that they were starting the antitrust lawsuit against them.
You said he took to the mic. You made it sound like it's a rap battle. Like it was just
that would be awesome. Wilding out with Merrick Garland.
Step into the cipher, dog. All right, sorry. What do you got?
Anyway, he told me not to read too much of it, so I'm just going to summarize. So
yeah, you can't read a whole story on
I
the
won't.
air.
So here's my summary. Merrick Garland said, "You guys are an evil corporation that are cranking up the prices on people," and Live Nation came back and went,
No, we're not.
No, we're not. No, we're not. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's my summary. And that's what you get. That's what you get from that.
Because we were talking about a story last week about how back, I think it was in 1975, you could get a ticket to go see Led Zeppelin.
1974.
Yeah, it was 1974 for like $1.50. And minimum wage was like $2.20 in Canada or $2.80 depending where you were at the time.
Yeah, now it costs you a limb, your firstborn child, and
Yeah, because if you take that to today, minimum wage, if you say it's say $17, you're like, well, what concert ticket can you buy for $8.50?
Let's be honest. What concert ticket can your parents buy for you?
Well, there may be some of that too, but
there is with Taylor Swift fans because those kids don't have jobs.
So it's tough when you're 13, and especially we were playing the clip earlier when your ice cream costs $9 or £9, like $20 for 2 cones.
It's not going to fly.
Yeah, it's just not going to fly.
Not here.
Well, bad, isn't it? But the Ticketmaster Live Nation story. So what happened? So the Attorney General says.
Yeah, the attorney,
and then what? Like,
well, no, the attorney general said, and
Yeah.
Live Nation went, And so needless to say, they're going to fight it. Dan Wall, he's, I think, the vice president or some type of CEO in that conglomerate. He called the accusation absurd to claim that Live Nation and Ticketmaster operate as a monopoly.
well, but don't they? I mean, and maybe not intentionally, but I mean, who are their competitors?
Yeah, well, this is it. He cites that they supposedly have a low profit margin. Yeah, so does Galen Weston, compared to other S&P 500 companies. Well, again, you can't compare yourself to all the other companies on the S&P. Some of them are like Microsoft.
Well, sure.
Sure.
But I mean, it's always been a volume play selling concert tickets, right?
Yeah,
It's
and
not,
one of the things that I did learn during the press conference yesterday that I did not know, apparently Ticketmaster also owns a lot of the venues.
But so to me, the story. So I want to get back to the venues thing, but something that impresses me or impresses upon me from this story is the need for returning back to more local music, local venues, local artists. I know it makes me sound like a bit of a hypocrite because we play all kinds of very famous, popular songs from, the beginning of rock time. But, if you can't afford the $5,000 Taylor Swift ticket, maybe it's not a bad idea to see who's playing at Brimstone Brewing this weekend. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And, you save your bucks, I guess, to go see Taylor Swift, but I guess you can also watch the film.
Yeah, just watch the film.
So why bother?
Well, it's. I think you brought up this point yesterday about. I totally lost my train of thought. Keep going with the story.
That's all right.
And I'll
Train
come
of
back
thought
to it.
derailed.
Absolutely.
According to Live Nation, every year competition in the industry drives Live Nation to earn lower and take rates from both concert and promoting ticketing. The company is profitable and growing because it helps grow the industry, not because it has market power. And you know what? I'm going to kind of disagree. Because again, whether it be a concert or even a sporting event, there's only one place you can buy your tickets.
Right. And
it's through Ticketmaster. And to me, that kind of sounds like a monopoly.
If you're just joining us, we're giving you an update here on the story regarding Ticketmaster being accused of being the monopoly that they are. The point I said I lost my train of thought is you brought up this point yesterday, Brenda. You said when you talk about setting prices, if people pay it, they will charge it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And so I understand there's an argument to be made from Ticketmaster to say, listen, we're not trying to exploit anybody. There's only such and such margin per ticket.
But if you're willing to be exploited, we're willing to do it.
We're willing to do it. Yeah. And it's I get it. Again, I'm a pretty free market business focused type person, but at the same time, I'm looking at some of these concert tickets, and I'm going remember we were looking up Nickelback tickets the other day?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it was like they were playing some hole in the wall in Saskatchewan. It's like $200 some odd dollars per ticket. And you're like, that's. But
you know what?
egregious.
At least if you're paying $200 for the hole in the wall to go see Nickelback, it's going to be you and like 50 other people, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
I have no problem paying that amount of money for like the intimate setting of basically having a private concert. But to pay $2,000 to stand on the lawn where you need binoculars to see who the hell it is that you're seeing play. No.
Yeah, it's.
I paid $25 to go see the Rolling Stones during the SARS concert, and that was with AC/DC.
Was that at Downsview?
Yeah,
and
it went on forever and a week, and I paid $25. Like maybe like my concert, demands are different now because of that. But
Justin Timberlake was there too, wasn't he?
He was.
SARS
And we
stuff?
threw water bottles at him. It was kind of awesome.
That's. I see. This
Keith
is the thing.
Richards did come out and defend him. He's like, hey, he's here donating his time just like everybody else, and besides, Keith invited him, and then he stepped back.
Yeah, that was rude.
Totally,
I didn't like
totally
that.
through Mick Jagger under the bus.
I lived walking distance at Downsview at the time. I didn't go to. I didn't go to that to Sarstock, but I probably should have. I mean, and
it was awesome.
Yeah, well, I bet it was. I bet it was a good show. But that does go to show it is like you can have a good time and you don't necessarily have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
I've
on a
seen the
concert
Rolling
ticket.
Stones 3 different times outside of the SARS thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've never paid more than $5.
Yeah. It's it'll be interesting to see what happens with that story because just because we say, hey, you guys are a monopoly. I mean, I'm curious to see if anything comes up, charges wise, if there's anything that comes from this, right? Other than just saying you guys are a monopoly and they say nuh-uh, and that's the end of the story.
Well, what's interesting is that the Obama administration was in charge when they first merged and they allowed it to happen.
Ticketmaster and Live Nation.
They defended the position, acknowledging there was no legal basis for challenging the vertical aspects of the merger. And I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, the Live Nation Ticketmaster thing is kind of like they're only being like, we're under the impression we have 20 different cell phone companies in Canada.
Yeah.
But in fact, there's only 3.
There's 3. Yeah. There's 3. Let's
and
get right.
I feel that this is like the same sort of thing. You're giving the illusion of choice. But that's it.
Just quickly on that story, I want to piggyback on it with another rock story. Because, by the way, for folks joining us, just listening, or just tuning in now, I should say, you can join the conversation anytime. Text us or call us 289-931-8400. But another rock story here that I thought was worth mentioning is that Stephen Van Zandt from the E Street Band was recently on the, I don't know if you've ever checked out the Club Random podcast. That's Bill Maher's podcast.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Bill Maher.
Okay, cool. It's some guests and some episodes are better than others, but Mr. Van Zandt went on this rant, about how classic rock is dead. It's going to die. Rock music, the stuff we play at this station, the stuff we all know and love, because this grown man is all intimidated by Taylor Swift's record sales. He says everybody wants to use Spotify to stream Taylor Swift and Beyonce, and I'm like, dude, there are still people. I know you mentioned seeing the Stones 3 times, but we're still talking about their music 60 years later.
Well, it's because they're also still on tour.
It is in part, but I mean, even if they weren't on tour, like, do you think if they stopped touring tomorrow, people stop playing the Stones?
Well, one of the points that Steve Van Zandt made was that like TV and movies are kind of becoming the home for rock and roll, or at least classic rock. And let's face it, like, how many people know Who music thanks to CSI?
Well, I mean, I would say the CSI helped to increase the popularity of those songs, but I mean, it's not.
For some people, that's their first exposure to The Who.
Well, and thank God for that. But I mean, he's here saying, this is the quote, I think 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it's going to be a problem because all this music is going to die if it's not promoted and heard. It's going to be like Motown Who, Rolling Stones Who, and I'm calling BS. I don't think that's the case.
And funny enough, Ann Wilson from Heart made a very similar point, and that is the fact that it's not people that are making the choices as to what's being played. It's like the AI that kind of
the algorithm,
dictates,
you mean?
that dictates the playlist. And as a result of that, it's changed what music is being played and what music people are being exposed to. But again, it's like with everything, you have to kind of adapt.
Yeah. So final point, because we got to move on. But I don't have a problem with it. I don't care. Play what you like. That's my opinion.
Coming from the guy who owns the station.
Well, whatever. Coming up, we're going to have a look at traffic. I got a bit of an update about the police being super sleuths using Facebook to solve crimes.
And that would be the actual police, not the band.
That's correct. And right now, we're going to listen to Pearl Jam on Fort Erie Radio.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning. That's us. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
You're listening to Fort Erie Radio. It's 7:48, 16 degrees, sun and cloud going on right now. Now, there's a story published on our website, forterieradio.ca. Broke this story yesterday. A suspect was arrested here in Fort Erie in connection with a bunch of thefts, stealing things out of people's cars. Cars are left open. Kind of a low-life thing to do. Dude was already out on probation, so, it is what it is.
He's a low-life that does things.
Yeah, the low-life that does things. Low-lives are going to low-life, It's the way it goes. But anyway, he was held in custody pending a bail hearing on Wednesday in St. Catharines. I'm not totally sure what the outcome was of that. Police didn't say. But what police did say in a statement that they released was that a collaboration for 5 district uniform officers and detectives, they launched an investigation into these thefts.
Yeah,
and
which was basically they logged onto Facebook.
Well, this is the thing. So bring this up with no disrespect intended to the police. But this case was basically solved before it even started. Now, it is a policy of Fort Erie Radio that we do not mention names of accused as often as possible. We avoid it where we can because there's a difference between being accused and being convicted. However, we live in 2024 and everybody's got a Ring camera.
Yeah.
Right? A Ring doorbell. So there's videos posted to different Fort Erie Facebook groups of these crimes actually happening. And in one case, one of these videos I'm looking at from May 20th, broad daylight. No, so this actually happened May 19th. So May 19th, 4:24 p.m., here is this dude, the same guy who was arrested, going into a car, rifling through it, and there's a clear shot of his face. He makes no attempt to cover his face. He's not wearing... Brenda talked last week during the Weird Damn News about a story where a guy dressed up in a garbage bag to try to sneak up to people's doors. Nothing. I mean, just walks right up.
But you said that this happened at 4:24?
p.m.
That's because at 420, he lost his cognitive thought.
Oh, I see. The devil's electric lettuce is to blame, apparently. I mean, I know a lot of people who like to partake, and none of them become kleptos.
No,
after,
but I'm just saying, like 4 minutes after 420, a lot of things seem like a really good idea.
Yeah, well, maybe he's just looking for a snack in there or something, right? So, anyway, the reason I bring this up is just to say that. And again, I don't mean this with any disrespect to our police. I'm not, thank God. Hey, if there was a problem going on in my place, I'd be calling Niagara Regional Police. You know what I mean? But this case, I mean, the police kind of take credit for, hey, here's the part that we did. But the comments are just flooded on both of these videos with the person's name. This is who did it. Everybody's like, yeah, here's who did it. Here's the name.
Taking the mystery out of it. That's awesome.
What I'm trying to figure out is why did it take several more days for the police to go pick him up? It's like, I mean, the evidence was posted right there. So
what I think is hilarious is like so many people recognize, like, yeah, he's a dirtbag. I know him.
Yeah. Facebook is like 2024 Scooby-Doo, just solving mysteries left, right, and center.
Crazy kids.
We've got news, local news, sports, and weather coming up top of the hour. I think it's also a great time. We should do another edition into the 8 o'clock hour of Niagara's Most Wanted.
We should, because there's somebody on here that has very cute hair.
Yeah, we should take a look at some of the new fresh mugshots that are posted across
Pippi
Niagara.
Longstockings on here. It's pretty awesome.
What they used to say on Unsolved Mysteries, it was like, perhaps you could help solve a mystery.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to the radio. Keep tuned in. Tell your friends to tune in. We're going to describe people's mugshots, and hopefully you'll find them out in public. And maybe you could help solve a mystery. Maybe.
There's one guy on here, just as a preview, he looks like he's auditioning for like the body that they find on like Law and Order.
Yeah, it's if you've never been on Niagara's Most Wanted and looked at the mugshots, do it. You'll feel so good about yourself after. We're listening to the Tragically Hip. It's 7:52. This is Fort Erie Radio.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning, I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
You're listening to Fort Erie Radio. It's 8:11 on this wonderful Friday. 17 degrees, sun and cloud. A text came in, a text about me. 289-931-8400. Join the conversation anytime. Let's see. What did this person say? Do you have it pulled up?
I do.
Go ahead.
It is, hi there. I get a chance to listen for about an hour, enjoying the show. Brent, are you from Thorold?
I am not from Thorold. No, that's the short answer. No, lived in the town of Fort Erie proper for, 7-8 years, and then moved to Ridgeway. Been there since. No time spent in Thorold. No, I wonder, do I have like a doppelganger out there?
I don't know, but I'm proud that our reach is all the way to Thorold. That's exciting.
Man, oh man. That is
hub
cool.
of Thorold is listening.
Because really, who else are you going to listen to in the morning? Let's be honest.
Well, it's not like Thorold has a radio station. Just saying.
Yeah, where's Thorold Radio, huh? Huh? I want to know. But right now, we're going to do probably one of our most mean-spirited segments. This is called Niagara's Most Wanted. As you might have guessed, inspired by Niagara's Most Wanted. It is an endless source of entertainment. Like, you don't like to prejudge people based on appearance, but and this is the huge Kim Kardashian but. If you go to the Niagara Regional Police website, they have all these mugshots posted, Niagara's Most Wanted.
And what's even more exciting, they have a camera version too.
Well, I haven't looked at the camera version.
Oh, you're missing out.
I've got one pulled up here. This dude, I mean, he's wanted for fail to attend fingerprints. We've seen that charge come up before.
Is that the guy that looks like he wants to be a body on the opening of Law and Order?
This guy, he looks like...
it looks like it's a picture from the morgue. Yeah, it's awesome.
He looks like he has seen better days. Like somebody... He owed somebody money, that is for sure. Because
he hasn't seen anything. Those eyes are so closed they could possibly be sewn shut.
He couldn't attend for fingerprints if he wanted to. This is like, maybe that's why he's busy. He's busy getting his ass kicked by somebody. But.
Yeah. So if you want him to come to fingerprints, come and get him with a cart.
Who do you got?
Above, it's like a miniature version of Pippi Longstocking. With theft under $5,000, failed to comply with probation order, and yeah, just cute hair for the mugshot.
She
Just very
didn't,
cute
she didn't
hair.
steal any pimple cream either. I'll tell
No,
you that
she
much. That's not her
didn't.
theft
But
under
that hair
5,000.
is it's just very cute hair. And there's someone a little bit further down the page. At first, I thought, oh, you're going for like an Alice Cooper look.
Oh,
and then
I
I
see. Yeah,
realized,
yeah, yeah,
oh
yeah.
no, those are like two black eyes. Nice look. Shoplifting under $5,000.
Again, you just wonder about some of these charges. Shoplifting under $5,000, and you're just like, but you got in a fist fight.
You know
Like, I
what?
don't-
You wonder, and then you see the notation underneath that says Welland.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, like 80% of this list is Welland. So we got somebody on here who's breach of probation. That's what he's wanted for. It looks like he's 12. I don't know if it's like, he stole somebody's skateboard or something. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this picture.
I don't know. Speaking of people that look like they're 12, there's someone who looks like a combination between, like if you took Mark Zuckerberg and like shrunk his head down, but stuck it on the neck of a 70-year-old.
Okay.
That is this dude. He's assault cause bodily harm.
Assault. Let me see if I can find that one here.
Oh, yeah. Just
Oh,
see if you
God.
can find it
Yeah,
from
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
description.
yeah.
He's
No,
got
it's-
like the
it's
wrinkly
not-
neck and the shrunken head of,
It's the wrinkly. It almost looks like the seatbelt dug in, like he was going to go forward in the cars. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what kind of mean-spirited nonsense we're doing, we're on the Niagara Regional Police website. Maybe you can help solve a mystery, as Robert Stack would say on Unsolved Mysteries. You can check out this list of people that are wanted, their mugshots, and we're not going to give out any names, but my goodness, if you see these people walking around, I feel like they'd be tough to miss.
The guy that I mentioned last week that's tattooed like all over his neck and face and kind of resembles a dirty Q-tip. He's got like Shaun the Sheep hair, except in black.
Yeah.
He's still on the list, which kind of makes me happy because again, his mugshot brings me great joy. He's up for flight police dangerous operation, whatever the hell that means. Way to form a sentence.
Yeah.
And failed to comply probation.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at traffic and news that's maybe a little bit more serious or more relevant to your day.
Probably not.
Coming up in a few minutes, local historian Bob Fretz is going to be joining us on air. It's always a delight talking to Bob because he just knows so much darn stuff. He's going to be talking with us about his collection of Bertie Township memorabilia. That is all coming up. Don't go anywhere. It's 8:16. You're listening to Fort Erie Radio.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning. That is us. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
Currently 8:26, 17 degrees, and a mix of sun and cloud. Joining us right now on the phone, we are speaking with the legend himself, local historian Bob Fretz is on the phone. Bob, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing great. We're
so
doing
much
all
better
right.
now that we got you on the phone.
Well, this is it. Hey, you can text in your local Fort Erie history questions. If you want us to pass on a question to Bob, we'd be happy to do that. Number is 289-931-8400. Now, Bob, I think a lot of people know you. A lot of people know your collection from your very famous Facebook group. You post all kinds of great stuff on there. But for the benefit of anybody listening who maybe doesn't know, could you talk a bit about your Bertie Township collection and what that looks like?
Well, I kind of realized at a young age I like to collect all kinds of stuff, old stuff. And if I was allowed to keep everything I wanted to keep, my house would be overrun. So I decided I had to define it somehow. So I decided, living in Fort Erie, or was then Bertie Township, greater Fort Erie now, I was going to collect items that had the name of a town in Bertie Township on it. So that's how I define my collection. Anything that has a name on it. But that means it allows me to have a lot of different collections. I've got probably 1,500 different old postcards of Fort Erie area. I've got crocks, I've got milk bottles, medicine bottles, even pop bottles, matchbooks, Bank of Fort Erie money.
We had our
medals.
own money?
Yeah, there were Bank of Fort Erie notes back in the day. And
back in 1836. Yeah, we'll talk about that. You're in the South End there. We're going to talk a little bit about your history as well and how the Bank of Fort Erie note came to be.
yeah, well, we got time, man. Tell us about
the is the advertising giveaways from companies that wanted to get their name in your house. They'd give you maybe a yardstick or a blotter or a calendar or a pencil or something like that. That stuff is fun. Then there's the sports memorabilia and fire and police things, advertising smalls. It's all kinds of stuff.
And when we're talking about all of these items, you know, we're talking about it takes up how much space. I mean, I understand you must have Fort Erie's most enormous home.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, it's too bad.
I put on a display back in 2012 at the Friendship Festival. The Canadian government paid me to put on a historical display to let people know that Fort Erie is known for more than just a battle, because 1814, War of 1812 was going to be popular. So I put on a display. I had a 20-foot by 20-foot booth down at the Friendship Festival, and I filled the booth, walls and tables and everything, for 3 years, everything different.
Wow.
And I still didn't get through my whole collection. So there's quite a bit of stuff there.
Now, just a quick question. Bertie Township, it was originally, a 10-mile area?
Well, Bertie Township was bordered by obviously the lake at the bottom and the Niagara River to the east. If you go up to Town Line Road out towards Netherby is kind of the corner. And then you go south, Holloway Bay Road, just as you're going up Number 3 Highway into Shirkston, you cross Holloway Bay Road. That's when you're crossing into the old Humberston Township, which was our neighbor to the west.
So it was essentially everything that we consider greater Fort Erie today was at one point Bertie Township.
That's right. Yep. Stevensville, Ridgeway, Crystal Beach, all of that. And a lot of small towns, a lot of post offices that are no longer with us were part of that as well.
Now, I understand with your collection, word is getting around here that you are looking for a buyer. You're looking for somebody, you don't want to break up your collection, but you are looking for somebody who maybe wants to sort of carry on the Bob Fretz legacy.
Well, am I looking for? Yeah. Do I want to sell? No, I don't know.
So if you won the lottery, it would just be like the Bob Fritz Museum would just open somewhere.
Maybe. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be a good idea.
There's a church for sale next to us.
I'd like to see an interactive thing going on. My comment to somebody recently was, if somebody wanted to open a Cracker Barrel type restaurant in Fort Erie, I got the junk for your walls.
That's cool. I kind of feel like the old what is it, Texas? The Texas Grill? Yeah, Big Texas Grill. They've kind of got that vibe going on, but they seem to just focus on drills, I think.
They got a lot of interesting things going on there. But so I assume, Bob, then, if, you're looking, you talked about the Cracker Barrel style restaurant, put stuff up. It has to be a pretty large establishment to sort of house everything. Is there some reluctance potentially then to work with, the Fort Erie Historical Museum, because same issue, they can't put everything on display?
That's true. And I'd like to see something where people, maybe a coffee shop or something like that, where people could come in and kids can come in and do a school project and find some local history and actually be able to touch some of the stuff. In a museum, they curate the stuff very well, and they don't want you touching everything. It might get wrecked and whatever. But it'd be nice to see a hands-on somehow. I don't know how all that would work. But if there maybe a senior citizen goes in and says, oh, that was my family's business, and look at there's a memorabilia piece from my family's business. Just that kind of thing I'd like to see that the museum really can't accommodate.
If you're just joining us, we have local historian Bob Fretz on the phone, and we're talking about his very extensive collection of Bertie Township memorabilia, talking about potentially looking for a buyer, the right buyer, somebody to take this collection, not break it up. Bob, do you want to share with listeners potentially how they'd get in touch with you? And it's up to you what information you do or don't want to give out on radio, but do you want to share how people could get in touch if they wanted to discuss that with you?
Oh, sure. Well, my home phone number is 905-871-8804, or you can come on my Facebook group and send me a message through there. It's simply called Fort Erie Collectibles Bob Fretz Collection.
Now, Bob, out of all the stuff out of all the stuff that's in your collection, what would you say is the most unusual thing that you have?
Oh, unusual. That you stumped me there. There's a lot of prizes. The one that comes to mind is a watch fob, and it's a watch fob from the Curtiss Airplane Company, and it's dated 1916. Now, the Curtiss Airplane Company was in Buffalo, New York. So you might say, well, what have you got that for? That's not Fort Erie, that's Buffalo. Well, it's from the Buffalo Company, but on the back of this watch fob, it's embossed Erie Beach, Second Annual Outing, 1916.
Wow. And what is a watch fob?
Oh, well, back in the day before we had wristwatches, we had pocket watches. And a pocket watch, if you look at a man's pair of jeans today, sometimes you still see that little watch pocket. on the right-hand side there. So you had a pocket watch that was obviously in your pocket, and the way to get it out easily to look at the time, there'd be a leather strap on it.
Oh,
and
wow.
if you wanted to get, the other end of that leather strap had some little bobble on it called a watch fob.
So, Bob,
and you just grab that fob, pull it up, and there comes your watch, and you can look at the time.
It was like the crock of watches. That's cool.
we've got about 2 minutes left here, Bob, before we want to wrap up. So one of the things I wanted to make sure to ask you about while I had you on air is, as you know, Fort Erie Radio has opened at 43 Queen Street. This is our studio location, a pretty historical part of town, the South End. What can you tell listeners about this part of town that they might not know?
Well, okay, back in 1836, a man named Nelson Forsyth, the name Forsyth Street, named after himself, he purchased the property from a British naval captain. And he named one of the cross streets after his wife. Nelson Forsyth's wife's first name was Archange. Interesting story. So if you live on the corner of Archange and Forsyth, you know his wife's name off by heart.
And that is where, in fact, Fort Erie Radio lives, Queen and Archange. How about that?
And I guess that's one of the
There
things.
you go. There you go.
When your wife has everything, give her a street.
Exactly.
Any other quick tidbits about this area, Bob?
Well, I got a question for your listeners.
What's that?
A quick question is, the Fort Erie Post Office opened in 1801. The first postage stamp was not issued in Canada until 1851. What did they do for the first 50 years?
It was free.
Is this a trivia question, Bob? Do you want us to give away a
It's a
prize?
trivia question I do not know the answer to. I'm not that old.
Oh, well then, okay.
look at you.
We can't even give away a prize for that because nobody knows the answer. But we'll. Well, be
There was no postage, so I don't know. I don't know how you mailed a letter. I don't know what you did. Why was there a post office? Post office opened in 1801. It was there for 50 years before they even had postage stamps.
I learn something new every time I talk to you, man. Bob, it's so good of you to come on the show. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Been a pleasure.
Hey, coming up in just a moment, folks, we're going to be taking a look at traffic. It is also Aviation Maintenance Technician Day. We're going to be talking about that.
Listen up, Boeing.
Big salute to the folks out there who make sure the doors don't fly off of airplanes. Right now, we're going to play Guns N' Roses on Fort Erie Radio. It is currently 8:36.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning, you're listening to 40 Erie Radio. It's 8:49, 19 and some sun and cloud going on. I'm Brent Jones.
I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
And we just had Bob Fretz on the show. Nice guy, Bob.
He was.
Yeah, Bob's a great guy. He did ask a question for listeners. You're welcome to text in if you got input. Said the first post office was established in this country, 1801. There were no postage stamps, however, until 1851. What did they use before? And Brenda thinks she found the answer.
I did. Hand stamps and ink were used. And they just hand stamped stuff on there and you mailed it out because postmarks were invented in 1661.
So the first stamps that did come out, say, 100 years later, probably made from glue from horses or whatever on the back. You were like licking horse glue to like stick it on the envelope, right?
Horse.
It is National Aviation Maintenance Technician Day.
Yeah, so good luck with that, Boeing.
Yeah, Boeing, take note. Salute to all the technicians out there that don't let doors fly off of airplanes.
Yeah, thank you for screwing everything together that should be screwed together. That's kind of you.
Yeah, that's sort of the job. It's funny because you talk about professions where, there's A players, there's B players. We talked this morning about Tim Hortons, messing up my coffee order twice in a row as a black coffee. And one time I got a double-double, the other time 2 creams. There's really no room for B players, is there, in aviation?
Well, apparently there is if you work at Boeing.
Maybe so.
They're doing all the letters of the alphabet, but the way that their planes are going right now.
You'd like to hope it's only like GOAT tier, pilots, like people actually behind the wheel, so to speak.
One would hope.
One would hope. There's a whole bunch of interesting days today. I got excited because I saw May 24th is Carb Day. So I thought this is a day to eat a plate full of spaghetti. It's actually referring to carburetors in race cars. Celebrating the carburetors in race cars. That gets a day.
Yeah, well, why not? Wyoming gets one, so.
Why, is today National Wyoming Day?
Yes, it is. Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I've been to Wyoming. It's my least favorite state.
My favorite thing about Wyoming, we learned the other day that Yellowstone has the death zone. That's my only perk there.
Yeah.
It's National Scavenger Hunt Day, which is basically every single day I'm trying to find something in my house.
Your keys, your wallet, whatever you're trying to get on the way out.
Whatever.
National Asparagus Day. So if you want to...
Delicious.
Yeah, if you want rancid urine for the rest of the day, get yourself some asparagus. That's pretty good.
It's National Cooler Day, which is great. You know, in the Americans, it's Memorial Day long weekend.
Like cooler's like a cooler
as
you
in
put your beers in. Yeah.
Put your beverages in there. And it's also National Road Trip Day. Thus the reason why there's so much traffic on
Delays
the bridge
at the border
today.
right now. National, well, if you are driving, it's National Death Busters Day. I really think they could have found a better way to describe this one.
Death Busters.
Who are you going to call?
It sounds like a bunch of people that are like cheating the Reaper.
But you know what it actually is? It's just a reminder to wear your seatbelt.
Yeah, let's not call that Seatbelt Awareness Day or something.
No,
that might make sense.
And something that might have been obvious. Instead, you look at your calendar, Death Busters Day. National Mike Day. It's a day to celebrate people named Mike. So
way to go, Mike. Are you going to have a gathering somewhere? Do better than the Kyles did.
it's also National Tiara Day. So, Mike, you get yourself a tiara for being named Mike. Your parents were very creative and original. You should be proud of that.
Be a little princess.
Yeah, we got like 30 seconds. What
It's
else?
National Escargot Day.
Ugh.
Yeah, God bless the snails.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
I almost ordered escargot once and then I chickened out.
National Don't Fry Day. So wear sunscreen.
Wear sunscreen. Yeah. Especially you gingers out there. Get that sunscreen on. It's important stuff. We got local news coming up at the top of the hour, news, sports, and weather. We're going to respond to some of your messages. We got some texts, but we got a bunch of messages on Facebook. Haven't kept up on that. So we're going to get to that here in just a moment. Right now, we're going to play the Cars on Fort Erie Radio. It's 8:53. Happy Friday to all.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning. I should probably turn up our audio.
Buttons
Good
are
morning.
not toys.
Apparently not. I'm Brent Jones.
I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
It's currently 9:11, 19 degrees, sunny outside. You're welcome to join the conversation anytime. Call or text us, 289-931-8400, because we do respond at least some of the time.
Yeah, we had somebody that sent a message saying, Brent, keep Brenda reeled in. That can't be done. I can't be contained.
Yeah, no, that's one of the best things about co-hosting a show with Brenda is that sometimes I just don't know what we're doing until we're doing it.
And I'm always like that. So there you go.
We put out a call yesterday to say, what is the worst job that you've ever had? The best worst job. Somebody said babysitting. I mean, I could see that.
Especially if you hate kids.
Yeah, if you hate kids, might not be right up your alley or anything.
But I know a clown you could hire.
Well, we'll get to that in just a sec here. But mentioned this one earlier. We got a text asking if I was born in Thorold. They knew a Brent Jones from Thorold. Not me, dude. Another text asking how to play Fort Erie Radio on Alexa, on your Alexa device. We got a lot of questions too, none recently, but a lot of people have asked about, what about my Google Home, my Google Nest? Google hates us. No, you have to have an Alexa device if you want to play Fort Erie Radio that way. There's also the app and the website. But the step that a lot of people miss is that you have to first enable the Fort Erie Radio skill before you can play it on your Alexa device. So you say, Alexa, enable the Fort Erie Radio skill. It'll do that. It's a one-time thing. You just have to do it one time. And then every time going forward, you can just say, Alexa, open Fort Erie Radio. Alexa, play Fort Erie Radio. That kind of thing.
It's nice to know that we're a skill.
Apparently it is. It takes skill to.
It's skill. Only once.
There can be only one. We also got a bunch of comments on Facebook from some of you guys who don't know how to follow instructions. We did a contest the other morning, had Brenda write down a random landmark in Fort Erie, said guess correctly, and win dinner on us.
By 9:30.
By 9:30, it said in
day.
there, text your guesses to 9:30. And since then, we still have comments coming in. A bunch of people. The answer was the old fort, because Brenda's very creative that way. She picked a landmark 10 feet from her house.
Yeah. Hey, it's constantly in my field of vision. It's with me.
Yeah, that was our landmark. But people did guess Mather's Arch, the majestic Queen Street traffic circle.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to make a point of visiting that majestic circle on my way home today.
Again, 10 feet from us. So.
Yeah, again, I'm going to explore. It's going to be a good time.
Never go that way on Queen. You don't go up the hill. You just come down.
Please. That hill is steep and my bike is not that big.
I was going to say, could your electric scooter make it up that hill, the Queen Street hill?
It does, but a small child could probably walk up there faster.
Okay. Somebody guessed, and this is oddly specific for a radio contest, where we used to pay our electric bills with the marble interior and blue lantern on the roof, also on Queen Street.
That just sounds pretty, wherever that is.
Yeah, I actually don't know that landmark. How long ago was that, I wonder, that people had to...
I was going to say the message or that...
No, go pay their electric bill in person, or it's like we had to go into a building to pay it.
Some people still do that.
Well, yeah, well... Some people are.
They do. They do. It's an outing and gives them like interaction with humans.
Get a few extra steps. We posted, this was yesterday, a photo of Brenda and her clown getup because she used to be part of a traveling clown circus.
As Brent calls it.
Then you always say, no, it was a puppet show or we were it's better, as if it's different.
It is. Muppets are a hell of a lot better than clowns. Clowns are evil. And I say that as a clown.
This photo is Brenda dressed as a clown with a meat cleaver. And, the caption was, would you trust your kids with her? And oddly enough, a lot of you in Fort Erie, crazier than hell, man. You guys are like, yeah, for sure. I would. Yeah.
Yeah. One person was honest, though, and said, if you don't like them.
Yeah. If you don't like your kids, leave them with Brenda.
Yeah. Good call.
Somebody here said, I've worked with Brenda. I trust her with my life. Somebody else said, I would too, as in I would leave kids too. Somebody else said, for sure, anytime.
Hilarious. I've now got babysitting jobs in the town of Fort Erie. Bring it on.
Ironically, the person texted in said their best, worst job was babysitting, and now you got a side gig as if you needed one more, right?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, leave me with your children. That'll be awesome.
Anyway, guys, we love giving away free stuff here. We actually are starting a little treasure box here of gift cards and things that we've collected. We got a ton of stuff to give away, but the deal is, guys, when we do contests, you got to follow the instructions. If this is by 10:30 or 9:30 and text us, don't leave a message on Facebook.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like our contest, if we say by 9:30, we mean the same day.
Yeah, you got to tune in and listen, man. If you really want to get into the contest, we'll be giving away more free stuff next week. Stay tuned to Jones and Tyrrell, 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday morning.
We are the gift that keeps on giving.
We absolutely
gift cards.
are. The gift that keeps on giving gift cards. We got a traffic update for you on the way. Then we're going to dive into some community events. There is a ton of stuff happening around the town this weekend. Right now, we're listening to Stacey's Mom.
With Jones and Tyrrell.
That is us. Good morning. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
It's currently 9:26, 20 and sunny outside. But it is time. The time has come.
The time is now.
The time is now to find out what's on your minds.
Fort Erie questions and answers based on the Facebook group by the same name.
This is a spot in the show we like to call Fort Erie Questions and Answers, the spot in the show where we go through the Facebook group by the same name and pick out any questions and answers that were particularly interesting, useful, or helpful, and then we'll dive right into some community events. Do we have something new in here, Brenda?
Yes, somebody just posted, is there a place to take prescription glasses no longer needed? Yes, the Royal Canadian Legion, they've got a box there on behalf of the Lions Club for accepting old sunglasses, and they are fixed up if they need to be and donated to third world countries.
The popular answer here was the Lions. I mean, you can take them directly there or through the Legion if you're in the Legion.
That's where the Lions box is located.
The Lions doesn't have like a place set up, Douglas Heights Senior Center or something?
They do, but in town, the Fort Erie Legion.
Okay, take them to the Legion. I guess you got that. Any recommendations for a product to remove motor oil from the driveway asphalt? Dawn is not efficient. Yeah, despite what they show you in those commercials where they wash little baby birds with Dove to get the oil spills off them.
There's a difference between washing a baby bird and washing a driveway.
Well, you think you could scrub the driveway harder.
Yeah, well, no? Dawn's about being gentle with little birds. If you're washing a duck, you would have been fine, but it's not a duck. It's a driveway.
Somebody said we use Tide powder and a stiff broom.
What I thought was awesome is somebody's suggestion was a repaving company. I think that's a bit extreme, but hey, yeah, that would work.
Spilled some oil, you need a new driveway. It's game over, guys.
Yep.
What else do we have?
Somebody has broken up concrete they need to get rid of and would rather not drive to Welland. Well, who wants to drive to Welland at any point in time? Anyone have a hole they need fill for? They've got about a quarter of a pickup bed worth of broken up concrete.
Oh, here's an interesting question. Looking for a good, honest realtor to sell a house in Crescent Park, moving up north. There's no such thing, guys. No such thing as a good, honest realtor.
That's not true.
I'm just kidding.
That's not true. I recommended you, sir.
If the Real Estate Council of Ontario, somebody recommended me?
I did, because I want job security.
Oh, I see. Man, there's a lot of names. This happens every time there's a realtor question in here. But, oh, look at that. Look at there I am. Yeah. There's one of my clients there messaged me. That's cool. It's funny because every time somebody puts up one of these posts, and it happens every couple months, it's just an absolute crap show underneath of name after name after name. And half these agents aren't even in Fort Erie, but it's just the list goes on and on.
There is someone, I don't know if it still applies, but apparently there's a disabled woman in desperate need of lawn care today or tomorrow. Complete yard cleanup. So if you're into doing good deeds for others.
Is there contact info for that person?
Well, it just says to message The
Just send a
person who
DM?
posted it.
Okay, so you got to be a member of the group. I think that pretty well sums it up. I mean, Fort Erie questions and answers, great spot to find out what's on your mind. But let's move right into what's happening in our town.
Let's.
Community events coming up in Fort Erie.
So we got a pretty long list on the website, forterieradio.ca. We publish a roundup post every week of all of the top events coming up. And let's see, this morning, starting in about a half hour, is the Friends of Fort Erie Public Library fundraiser. This is a silent auction. This is there's going to be a spelling bee piece to it, a reptile exhibit. This is a chance for the library to make a little extra coin.
And I believe that's a 2-day fundraiser.
Yeah, today and tomorrow. I think the reptile exhibit for the kids is happening tomorrow. Fort Erie Public Library, the Centennial Branch on Gilmore Road. There's, of course, no cost for admission. But if you want to buy some books, get in on some of the stuff going on, maybe bring some cash just to be on the safe side.
You can celebrate Bob Dylan's birthday over at the Ridge Cinema Lounge, music and movies dedicated to Bob Dylan. That is happening tonight at 6 o'clock. Ridge Cinema Lounge, 320 Ridge Road North in Ridgeway. Tickets are available at cinemalounge.ca for $35.
You may also, if tickets are not already sold out, might be able to purchase them at the door, but probably a good idea to get them ahead of time if you can. If you're just joining us, we're reviewing some community events coming up over the next few days. There's a ton of stuff happening in our town. Like, for example, if you want to take in a live performance from Rebel Souls, you can head down to the Fort Erie Legion. That's happening tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. There is no cost for admission. Have a couple wobbly pops. Check out the Rebel Souls. It's happening tonight.
And Spring Craft and Vendor Show with a raffle and lunch available to purchase happening tomorrow, May the 25th, starting at 10 a.m. Fort Erie Optimist Club, 1539 Gilmore Road in Stevensville. Free admission.
Yeah, don't let this one be confusing. It's the Optimist Park, right past the QEW. I mean, technically, I think the address is Stevensville, but I would have never have thought of that part of town being Stevensville. But free admission, Craft and Vendor Show, Dog Day afternoon. That's going to be a huge event. We had Scott Broda on the show talking about that. From the Rotary Club. The event itself is happening at Fort Erie Conservation Club on Ott Road in Stevensville. This is a big outdoor event. Hopefully the thunderstorms sort of hold off tomorrow. Dogs are welcome, but if you just love dogs in general, you can bring a dog, you can meet a dog. Starts tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. There's going to be vendors, food, games, ton of great stuff happening.
From Giver to Receiver workshop. Connect with Divine Feminine Wisdom is happening tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the Sanctuary Center for the Arts, 209 Ridge Road North in Ridgeway. You can contact the.witch.in@gmail.com for more information.
There's a community meeting of some sort happening at South Coast Cookhouse. That's also happening tomorrow at noon. Chris McQueen, the CEO for the town of Fort Erie, will be there as the guest speaker. I believe it's a couple hours long. You could attend in person. It's kind of in the back party room at South Coast. But if you'd like to stay in the know about what's happening in our town, our community, check it out. Happening tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Our Town Art Show, art gallery featuring local submissions is happening on May the 25th, starting at 12 noon. Fort Erie Arts Council, 246 Ridge Road North in Ridgeway, free admission.
Yeah, what's interesting about that one is I believe it was an idea originally suggested in the Our Town Facebook group because that group so heavily relies on people's local photography of cool
very
stuff.
cool.
And so they're taking these local submissions and turning it into like an art show, and it's free to go check it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Facebook, look at you making a difference.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. More live music, Electric Lettuce performing at Brimstone Brewing Company. That's happening tomorrow at 6 p.m. A lot of stuff happening tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., local duo, Electric Lettuce, free admission. Check them out, Brimstone Brewing Company.
On Sunday is the Children's Fishing Derby. That's always a good time.
That's always a favorite.
Yeah, lunch is provided, prizes and goodie bags available. That is on May the 26th, starting at 9 a.m., Fort Erie Conservation Club, 2555 Ott Road, also in Stevensville. Meet at the gazebo. Bring your own fishing rod and bait.
Yeah, in the Railway Museum, Fort Erie Radio will actually have one of our reporters out there to cover this event, but they're celebrating their 50th birthday this Sunday at 10 o'clock a.m. There's going to be a plaque unveiling. They're going to have some stuff to look at, jet, fire truck, that sort of thing. And just to be clear, this is the Fort Erie Railway Museum on Central Avenue. This is not the Niagara Railway Museum that's virtually across the street. You can attend this one in person. Just show up. Should be a good time.
And Walk for Guide Dogs, pet value fundraiser walk followed by a barbecue is happening on May the 26th, starting at 12 noon. at the Pet Value at 310 Garrison Road, Fort Erie. Contact Kyla at 905-994-0857 for more information.
And just lastly, I'll mention another live performance, back to the 80s, family-friendly live musical performance, also happening on Sunday at the Legion in Ridgeway. This gets going at 4 o'clock, and there is free admission.
And one more Legion thing for people that care. Catch the Aces up to around $9,000.
Can you imagine?
And that is drawn on Saturday.
On Saturday? So people still have time to...
You got time to buy tickets right until 6:45 p.m. on Saturday at the Ridgeway at Garrison Road. The Legion on Garrison Road, Branch 71.
Got it. Okay. We got another traffic update on the way. That is coming up shortly. More of Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell just around the corner. You're listening to Fort Erie Radio. This is Asia.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Good morning. That's us. I'm Brent Jones.
And I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
Thank you for tuning in today. That is our show.
Have yourself a great, safe weekend, people.
If you're crossing to the U.S. for Memorial Day, be careful, man. Buffalo, those guys got nothing to live for. You got to be careful down there.
It's Buffalo.
It's Buffalo, man. It's the Welland of New York State. So you just be careful if you're heading that direction. Catch us every weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m., Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Yeah, text us, message us, follow us on Facebook.
Yeah, 289-931-8400. Be part of the conversation.
And tell your friends to download the app.
Well, this is true.
Because they're your friends and they deserve good things.
Yeah, don't let them listen to one of those boring snoozer rock radio stations in the morning. We'll keep you entertained, news, sports, traffic, all the
and maybe even next week I'll know how to pronounce the Boston Celtics.
I was expecting you to say Celtics again right there.
You know what? They're just going to become Boston.
Just say
I
Boston.
can't wait for them to get eliminated.
Oh.
Just so I don't have to say it
As soon as they're
anymore.
eliminated, Brenda doesn't have to mention it anymore. Catch the Andrea Jones Show today at 1 o'clock. We'd love it if you did. And we'll have more gift cards and other goodies and stuff to give away next
Keeping
week.
serving of goodness, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m.
That's it. I think that's all for today.
Yeah, have a good one.
Bye.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. Only on Fort Erie Radio.